product management frameworks. Before you dive right into the videos, let me explain the purpose of this series. Product management frameworks are how product managers do a lot of their jobs, answer some of the questions, and meet the challenges that they have connecting strategy, what the business has decided it should be working on, with execution, what we're building, what we're implementing. They're a translation layer between business leaders, stakeholders, frontline users, customers, and your technology teams. What you don't realize is technology teams could be doing a lot of different work. So we have to have some framework to figure out, well, given all the things that we could do and we have finite, limited resources to deploy, what should we be doing? And what's the most effective way to deliver value to our customers? What should the product look like? How do we implement strategy and our strategic objectives in the form of a product? And a product is our primary value delivery vehicle to our customers, but it's also how we return value to the business based on whatever it is that we decide to build. And so there's that alignment between technology and value creation, which is such an important component of what data and AI product managers do. Now, I'm going to be covering a lot of frameworks in this video, or in this series, excuse me. Jobs to be done, minimum viable product. Actually start out with minimum viable product. Business model canvas, opportunity solution tree, which you can see is a Google construct. Working backwards, which is an Amazon construct. They have this whole process of day one, which is kind of cool, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. 2 equal parts, weighted impact scoring, customer journey mapping, which is very cool as well. I like that one. Design sprints, Spotify squads, which obviously Spotify, the hooked method, which is, there's an entire book on it. Highly recommend it. And then finally 5 whys, which is sort of a derivation of a Toyota Total Quality Management framework. Who is this series for? Well, if you're a technical professional, individual contributor, and you are looking to become more value-centric, if you've heard that you need more business acumen, this is one of those series that'll help you get better business acumen, because through these frameworks, you'll understand how what we build creates and delivers value to the business, to the customers. But more than that, you'll figure out how the business decides what we should be working on in a, rigorous fashion. Not every business has a data or AI product manager, but most are either exploring hiring one or already do. You could also be considering taking on the role. It's definitely a role where there is a shortage of talent. And so you may be asked by your leadership to step into this role. And so some of these frameworks will come in handy because I'm going to explain how to implement these with more data. So these are typically non-data driven frameworks, but what I'm going to explain is how these frameworks can be slightly modified to include data and become more certain, more effective. So instead of opinions chasing data, how do we change these frameworks around a little bit and introduce data into the product strategy process, which means you're sort of a perfect fit. Most product managers are trying to become more analytics and data driven. They're really acquiring data engineering and data analyst skill sets. So we're at a good sort of crossover point because a lot of what we know transfers very nicely into the product management role. That could be where you're coming from. You could be a traditional product manager and looking at, you know these frameworks, but what would these frameworks look like if they were data-driven? How would you implement data-driven methodologies into these more traditional frameworks? So if you want to become more data-driven, this series is for you as well. Dive in. First one, MVP, minimum viable product. I hope you come back for the entire series. I'll be dripping these through the next probably month and a half. I hope you like them. If you do, hit the like, hit the comments. If there's a framework that's missing that you'd like me to cover, go ahead and mention it. Hopefully I'll be able to add it to the agenda.